So, Tom,
everything
you
else
won't
from that
mind
point
then
on
if
is going to
Courtney's
take care
on
of
the same-
itself.
Tom, you won't mind if Courtney's on the same golf course as OJ.
I agree with what everybody else has said, first of all, about going out and arresting somebody. I have never claimed that Courtney should be arrested right now, put in jail, and tried for murder. I've never said that. I have offered my opinion. I have said that I believe that Courtney Love and Michael DeWitt are involved in a conspiracy that resulted in the murder of Kurt Cobain. That's my opinion. I've never said she should be immediately arrested for that. I'm just saying change the finding from suicide to undetermined, because you cannot prove this was a suicide, and then watch what happens to this case.
The thing that's always puzzled us is if Courtney really is innocent and had nothing to do with this and is just the victim of several unfortunate coincidences, all she has to do is release the medical examiner's report. That report should have the forensic evidence that Kurt committed suicide.
That's a good point.
He did. And we cannot understand why she doesn't just do that. That would put everything to rest. If she's innocent, that would just, Tom Grant would have a lot of egg on his face. Tom Grant would have to crawl back with his tail between his legs and admit that he was wrong. Every medical examiner in the country would come out and say, oh, of course the findings in that report are obviously suicide. And yet she does not release that report, and it just doesn't make sense. Why not? What is she hiding?
That's right. And if she really wanted to stop you guys, all she has to do is say, all right, let's fight this out. I am going to sue you. I'm suing a publisher. I'm suing Tom Grant. That's what she should do.
She should, yeah. It's kind of strange that, people are accusing her of murder, and she just...
She attempted at one time, she threatened to have my PI license taken away, and then when she found out that she would have to sit and answer some questions and testify in a hearing in order to do that, they backed down and wouldn't do it.
All right, let's start.
The thing about this case is rock and roll conspiracies are a dime a dozen. When we first got involved in this case, heard about this, oh, that's just another half-baked celebrity conspiracy theory. And when, even just now when Tom Grant used the word conspiracy, I'm sure people's ears pricked up and say, oh, conspiracy theory, because conspiracy theories have gotten a bad name. And it's true. Most conspiracy theories are ridiculous. But occasionally there is a conspiracy, a conspiracy.
Occasionally they happen by the thousands every day across the country.
I remember
Alan, celebrities, so they're not considered conspiracy theories.
When I first contacted Max, Alan, he was station manager of North America's oldest alternative music station. I contacted him. I was in Seattle, and he thought it was absolutely ridiculous at first. He didn't think Kurt Cobain, there was a possibility that he was murdered. And if I'm correct, Max, if you remember, you thought it was just outrageous.
Of course, for a long time.
Yeah, my reaction to Tom the first time he was on, we were really rough on him, and boy, did he... it took about 2 shows under my belt to really turn me around, turn the listeners around. And, at first she said, come on, Courtney involved with murder. But now look at her behavior. Is this the behavior where she lies? The things that forget about the drug use, but look at the lies and irresponsible behavior in front of her children.
Well, you know what, Alan? That's nothing compared to what you hear on these tapes. These tapes are just incredible to listen to her.
And this is what this new book is. It has a lot of stuff that's never been published. These tapes. Now, why, Tom, did you hide? Why did you keep these tapes to yourself and not release them publicly all these years?
Well, because like I told you on one of the first shows we did, I knew this was going to be a long, slow process, and it's not going to be a flash in the pan where you just dump everything out there and then they know how to defend themselves. Withholding evidence is a tactic that police officers and investigators use to keep the other side honest, basically. So if they want to respond to something, if they want to come out with lies, for example, there were comments about marks being on Cobain's hands. I've always said that, tell us what those marks are because I'll prove you wrong. I have evidence. I have other stuff that has never been revealed, not even to Max or Ian. And if they want to come forward with even medical records or coroner's reports, I'm telling you, I can tell whether those reports have been doctored. We've done a lot of undercover work on this case that even Max and Ian aren't aware of.
Well, Tom, if
we do get those reports, we'll know whether they're authentic.
What's going to happen now? I think book 3 is for you, Tom, because we just want to see this case reopened.
That's an interesting point, actually, about Tom. We thought at first he was going to write a book, and he probably could have and made a lot of money. That's true. On it.
He sure could have.
He never did. He was very, very concerned with safeguarding his credibility.
Absolutely.
He never cashed in. He never took offers from tabloid TV shows who offered him money to tell his story. He was very, very concerned with his credibility. And
that's right.
10 years later, he's lost a lot of money on this.
He lost a lot of money, and this is when I got the word to cut this out. I knew Tom very well. Tom already, we did about 7, 8 shows at that point. And basically what I was told was I wasn't going to get an interview. And I won't mention the bands, I won't mention this person, but I was told I won't get any more interviews with certain bands, big bands, if I continued to interview Tom Grant. That's what I was told. And so
this is what Geffen Records used to do. Even when Nick Broomfield's documentary Kurt and Courtney came out, they threatened certain radio stations who were running ads for this documentary that if they kept running ads, they wouldn't have access to Geffen bands anymore. So this was a very popular tactic by Geffen in the days when Geffen was still protecting Courtney, and now she has no association with Geffen.
And she doesn't even have a major label deal anymore, does she?
No, it's sort of a.
It's a distribution
deal. A lot of her last album out of her own pocket, and she got some money.
Well, she has a major distribution deal, Alan, but she's, as far as the record label goes, she's more independent. But she still gets, you can't deny her new album, I think, is a good album. Let's not, she is, some people don't like her art, but I think she is a valid artist. She definitely makes some statements that appeal to a lot of people out there. I don't think in any way we should, sort of trash her art.
Yeah,
but
you have to give her credit where credit was due. Live Through This is a masterpiece, in my opinion, as an album. A lot of people think that Kurt wrote the musical bridges, and he probably did, but that still doesn't take away from the incredible album that she made. So a lot of Kurt fans, a lot of Courtney bashers don't want to give her any credit. She's the Yoko Ono of the new generation.
If she would just come, if she just put everything on the table, answer the questions, and then if she has a strong case, it'll come out.
But still, Alan, if she is vindicated, it does not mean that Kurt Cobain committed suicide.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it. All right, let's go to some more calls here. Let's go to Brittany, line number 1. Brittany, welcome to the Allan Handelman Show. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good. What's your question, real quick?
Why would Courtney try to stop them from finding out more about what happened if she, don't have anything to hide?
Yeah, that's what we've been trying to figure out.
That's a very good question. Are you a Kurt Cobain fan?
Last 10 years.
Yes.
How old are you, Brittany?
14.
I could tell this was a little younger than usual. Yeah, well, that's what we've been talking about. Why she won't say, hey, this is ridiculous, I'm going to sue you. That's what she should do.
Do you think he was murdered, or do you think he committed suicide?
I don't think he committed suicide, but, that's me. I think Courtney knows who done it.
All right, Brittany, thanks for calling. Let's go to Chris, line 2. You're on the Allan Handelman Show, Chris. Hi, Chris, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Speak up, man. What's your question?
My question is, if Courtney's so hell-bent on keeping the medical records safe, why could Kurt's family, like his father or mother or grandfather, he came for clear, why could they not request a copy?
That's a good question. Actually, Kurt's father could, or his mother. And for many years, Courtney and Kurt's mother were very close. Courtney bought her a house. Courtney was helping support her financially. And just in the last few months, they've become estranged. Kurt's mother is battling for custody of Frances Bean, of the daughter. And so this might represent an opportunity. We're not really sure where Wendy, Kurt's mother, stands on this. But yes, Wendy could probably get access to those records if she wanted it. Don, his father, he won't talk about this case. Leland Cobain, the grandfather, he was thinking of going and trying to access the records, and his son told him not to, didn't want him to get involved. We're not sure if a grandfather could get these records. Probably not. It'd probably have to be a member of his immediate the father or the mother.
Well, see, a grandfather is considered immediate family.
Yeah, not quite immediate enough, I don't think, to qualify to be able to obtain those records. It's a bit of a gray area.
Yeah, and in the state of Washington, the coroner's report is considered medical records. In speaking to a lot of homicide investigators here in California, they were